Hi everyone, my name is Genevieve Shanahan and I'm a lecturer in Management, Employment and Organisation at Cardiff Business School. I'm really pleased to have been co-awarded the Best Doctoral Dissertation Award by the CMS division of AOM. Thank you very much to the CMS team and the anonymous reviewers for your kind words and helpful advice. My full acknowledgements are in the manuscript, but I just want to here reiterate my thanks to my supervisors at Grenoble Ecole Thibaut Dodijos and Stéphane Jomier, and Bertrand Valliog at Université Clermont-Auvergne. I was very lucky to have not just one, but 3 great advisors. Like all of us, I'm worried, to say the least, about the disconnect between our intentions and our actions regarding the climate crisis. None of us intend to foster a climate catastrophe, and yet our actions, as mediated through organisations, markets, etc., contribute to this future and increasingly present outcome. In this dissertation, I argue that organisation theory can help us understand the mechanisms underlying this disconnect, and more specifically, I explore a dimension of organisational democracy that addresses this disconnect, what I call democratic revisability. So if democracy generally refers to self-governance or giving ourselves our own rules, then the revisability dimension of democracy specifically addresses the potential for rules to become outdated and inappropriate for our current context. Democratic revisability then involves keeping coordinating rules and decisions continually open to modification by the relevant community. I argue that this conception of democracy is central to anarchist and prefigurative organising, but has been under-theorised to date. So in my exploration of the concept, I identified 2 key components of revisability. The first is transparency, the backward-looking aspect, and this enables participants to understand the intentions behind the organisation's existing rules, and thereby to assess the degree to which their effects are aligned with these intentions, or indeed whether the underlying intentions are still held as valid by the organisation today. Editability is then the forward-looking aspect, and it enables participants to rewrite these rules in order to realign them with the organisation's present intentions. All things being equal, I argue that revisability is desirable in all organisations due to the risks associated with the disconnect between intention and action, as it enables the correction of this sort of misalignment. However, revisability is particularly important for democratic organisations, as the legitimacy of democratic organisations' rules derives from their ongoing endorsement by members, and this endorsement is most clearly evidenced by the fact that they are genuinely open to revision. I suggest that revisability has been overlooked in the literature to date because it seems to be incompatible with effective coordination or even the organisational form itself. So we might think, what meaning does a rule even have if I can simply choose to change it rather than follow it? So in this dissertation, I hope I've demonstrated that democratic revisability is not in fact incompatible with effective coordination. We can have effective coordinating rules that are at the very same time revisable. And what's more, forms of organising that centre democratic revisability, such as prefiguration, have emerged precisely in response to the pathologies of the organisational form, particularly the disconnect of action from intention. So each of the 3 papers that make up this dissertation explores revisability from a different angle. Paper 1 explores the various ways in which action and intention become disconnected in alternative organisations specifically, understood through the language of degeneration. And so I'll present this conceptual paper, 2 Routes to Degeneration, 2 Routes to Utopia, at AOM during the CMS paper session, Activism and Alternatives, on Friday. Paper 2 then details a model for using information and communication technology to reconcile democratic revisability and effective coordination at scale. This empirical paper is based on a 2-year ethnography of the Open Food Network, who I cannot thank enough for their generosity of engagement with my research project. It has recently been published in Human Relations under the title No Decision is Permanent, and I have a number of full-text licenses, so please don't hesitate to contact me to ask for one. And do check out the work of the Open Food Network on openfoodnetwork.org. Finally, paper 3 explores the logical and practical limits of democratic revisability. This second empirical paper is based on participant observation, interviews and archival analysis of a network of participatory cooperative grocery stores that we call the Réseau Alimentaire Local. This paper was co-authored with my supervisors Thibaut Dodijos and Stéphane Jomier, along with Alban Ouab at Télécom Paris. And a big thanks goes to all of the participants who again helped us see the concept of democratic revisability in a different light, specifically regarding the complexities of technological organising. This paper is working its way through the review process at the moment, so I hope it'll be available to share before too long, but in the meantime a summary can be found on my website, genevieveshanahan.com. None of us intend to foster the climate crisis, and I hope this concept of democratic revisability can contribute in some way to understanding how we can halt and change course on organisational actions that have this effect. Once again, thank you to the AOM CMS community and enjoy the conference.